And gentlemen, today we'll be having private conference of three civil works project. But before we start, let us all stand for a prayer.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for gathering us all today in this important endeavor. We ask that you bestow your guidance and blessing upon each attendee. May we honor one another by keeping an open mind. May we voice our truth and listen with an open heart. Bless everyone present today, that each may be able to share his or her contributions and gifts. Grant good health and safety to loved ones left outside this room, and bestow peace and goodwill to all of us. We ask for your wisdom and grace to use our talents for the betterment of others. May the various activities related to this day be a success through your intervention. With gratitude, we offer this prayer in your name. Amen.
Let us all be seated. Again, to our YouTube live viewers, especially our prospective bidders, fellow back members from the Secretariat and Technical Working Group, once again, good morning. Before we start, may I ask our head secretariat who are the invited observers for today's procurement activity?
Pleasant morning to all, and thank you, Mr. Chair. Our invited observers for today's procurement update activity, which is a private conference, is our first observer is the resident auditor from the Commission on Audit, DPWH Nueva Vizcaya, First District Engineering Office, Bambang, Nueva Vizcaya. Our second official observer is Mr. Eduardo L. Lamadrid, Chairman, Chamber Real Estate and Builders Association, La Union Chapter from San Fernando City, La Union. And our third official observer is Engineer Gladys G. Tiburcio, alternate observer from the National Constructors Association of the Philippines Incorporated, Aritao, Nueva Vizcaya. So these are our three official observers for today's private conference. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Brian A. Robusto, for reading the our letter for the official observers. May I know again if we have any other mode of invitation aside from this letter?
Yes, sir. We have another mode of invitation through my official Gmail, sir. Invitation to observers for contract ID number 24BI0073 to 24BI0075 sent through my official email dated March 8, 2024 at 4:30 p.m. Thank you.
Again, thank you, Engineer Brian L. Augusto. Uh, all of our invited observers are not present. So we just continue the scheduled private conference today, March 14, 2024. But before again we start, we again ask the to read the attendance for today and declare if we have a quorum. Engineer Augusto, our head secretariat.
Thank you, Mr. Bakcher. A pleasant morning again to all for today's procurement activities, which is private conference for the three civil works projects dated March 14, 2024. For the roll call of the Bids and Awards Committee members composition, we have Engineer Valentino B. Sereno,
Present.
Back Chairman, Chief Planning and Design Section, Engineer Jermaine B. Benavista, Provisional Member and User from the Planning and Design Section, Engineer Reden A. Milyare,
Present.
Back Regular Member from the Construction Section, Architect IVO Salazar, Provisional Member and User for all types of project procurement. We have Engineer Bayani of Molina, Provisional Member and User from the Construction Section, and Engineer Florence L. Santiago, Provisional Member and User from the Quality Assurance Section. And for the roll call, sir, of the Back Secretariat, yours truly, Brian Neil G. Augusto, Head. For the Back Secretariat members, we have Miss Simonette Tilacorda, Member, Back Secretariat, Miss Ande Erica Fatima Picabang, Back Secretariat Member, Mr. Remio A. Santos, Back Secretariat Member, Miss Lotgarda D. Reyes, Back Secretariat Member, Mr. Jesus Ibutak, Back Secretariat Member, and Mr. Alan Edward G. Damaso,
Present po.
Back Secretariat Member. And for the Bids and Awards Technical Working Group, sir, who are present for today's activity, we have Engineer Narcisa M. Santos, TWG Member, Miss Diane Sheldon B. Balico, TWG Member, Engineer Myrtle G. Degamo, TWG Member, Miss Arlene C. Peralta, TWG Member, Engineer Rayward C. Cortez, TWG Member, and Engineer Rolly Ian Sinfego, TWG Member. And for the technical personnel, sir, who prepared the plans and DEDs of these projects, we have Engineer Jeremy Mark B. Soriano, Engineering Assistant from the Planning and Design Section, and Engineer Charles Jared Libre, Siagasid, Engineering Assistant from the Planning and Design Section. Sir, majority of the bids and awards composition members are hereby present for today's private conference. Therefore, there is a constitution of a quorum. Thank you.
Again, thank you, Engineer Brian Neil Augusto, for reading the attendance for today's private conference. Since majority of the back members are present, as back chair, I now declare that this procurement activity is officially open and in order. So, to continue, may I ask, we have scheduled opening of bids, postponed opening of bids last March 12 for the three civil works project. But unfortunately, again, we have a problem from our network security. Kindly plus. Okay. This is the advisory from our network connectivity interruption central office dated March 14, 2024 at 8:25 a.m. Again, all officials and employees, please be advised that network connectivity to from the following offices is currently unavailable, down, due to technical issues with our service provider. We are the affected offices are Bureau of Research and Standards, Bureau of Maintenance, Bureau of Equipment, UPMOs, and all regional and district offices. For this, again, or the scheduled opening of bids of the three civil works project, take note, Secretariat, then we'll schedule maybe on March 19, 2024 for the three civil works project. Hopefully, our network connectivity will be restored so that the eligibility processing will be run from our CWA. Engineer Augusto, take note of what is
Noted, Mr. Chair.
okay. So the agenda for today is, before I will read the agenda for the day, I would like first to read the Section 22 of the Private Conference of the 2016 Revised Implementing Rules and Regulations. The private conference shall discuss, clarify, and explain, among other things, the eligibility requirements and the technical and financial components of the contract to be bid, including questions and clarification raised by the prospective bidders before and during the private conference. 22.4, the minutes of the private conference shall be recorded and prepared not later than 5 calendar days upon after the private conference, and shall be made available to prospective bidders not later than 5 days upon written request. Decisions of the BAC amending any provision of the bidding documents shall be issued in writing through a supplemental bid bulletin at least 7 calendar days before the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. That is the Section 22 is a private conference of the 2016 revised implementing rules and regulation for the information of our YouTube live viewers, especially our prospective bidders. In addition, I would like to read also the GPBB Resolution number 15 series of 2021 for the information, again, for the information of our prospective bidders, dated October 14, 2021, which is the section 8.5.2 of the 2016 revised IRR of Republic Act 9184 mandates all prospective bidders to upload in the Philippine Government Electronic Procurement System, PhilJEPS, and maintain current and updated the following Class A eligibility documents under Section 23(1)A and 24(1)A of the same IRR. First is the registration certificate. Second is mayor's business permit or its equivalent document. Tax clearance. Fourth is Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board pickup license and registration. And the audited financial statements. In addition, whereas Section 23.1A I and 24.1A I of the 2016 revised IRR of Republic Act number 9184 allow the submission of a recently expired mayor's permit together with the official receipt as proof that the prospective bidder has applied for renewal within the period prescribed by the concerned local government for the purpose of eligibility check, subject to the submission of the renewed mayor's permit as a post-qualification requirement. That is the resolution number 15 series of 2021 of the Government Procurement Policy Board or GPPBB last October 14, 2021. This for the information of our prospective bidders. So to continue, this is the agenda for today. For our first agenda, basic contract data to be discussed to us by the technical personnel who prepare the plans and detailed engineering design of these 3 projects. The second agenda, requirements of bidding documents to be presented to us by our Head Secretariat, Engineer Brian Nilagusto. The third agenda, Documents to be submitted by the bidder, including technical and financial proposals. Also, our Head Secretariat, Engineer Brian Neil Augusto. For the port agenda, criteria and procedure for the preliminary examination of the bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification and award, for a provisional member for all types of procurement, architect Ivy Salazar. For the fifth agenda, questions, comments from bidders, and replies of BAC and other representatives of procuring entity, BAC. And for numbers, summary of proceeding, including bid bulletins, addenda to be issued, if any, and other matters by the BAC and prospective bidders. This is the agenda for the day for the private conference. So, we'll go for the first agenda, the basic contract data. For the first contract, with contract ID number 24BI0073, may request the preparer of this project, Engineer Jeremy Soriano, to explain in details the scope of work about this project. Engineer Soriano, take it away.
Hello. So, good morning, everyone. I will share a brief detail about our project, the concreting of Barangay Pinya Farm to Market Road, located at Diadi, Nueva Vizcaya. I will read the basic contract data of the project. Contract ID 24BI0073. Name of project, concreting of Barangay Pinya FMR. Location of the contract, Barangay Pinya, Diadi, Nueva Vizcaya. Approved budget for the contract, 9,950,000 pesos. Project description, concreting of 6.10 meter width barangay road. Duration, 120 calendar days. Cost of bid documents, 10,000 pesos. Source of fund, FY 2024 DAFMR. The project spans 455 meters or 0.91 lane kilometers. The budget allocated is 10 million pesos and the project is estimated to take 120 calendar days. The map shows the location of the project, the quarry source, and the material source. The quarry source is in Magat River, Baretbeck section, which is approximately 28.6 kilometers away from the project site, and the material source is at Solano, spanning a distance of 42.40 kilometers away from the project site. Next slide, please. The project site is also approximately 174 meters away from the Pinya Barangay Hall. Next slide, please. Here is the topographic map of the road showing the alignment of the project. Slide, please. The next slides are the typical cross sections, which features a 3.05 meter wide by 200 millimeter thick PCCP carriageway with 0.50 meter shoulders at both sides. Next slide, please. The cross section features a 3.05 wide by 200 millimeter thick PCCP carriageway with 0.50 meter shoulder and rubble concrete slope protection at right side and curb and gutter at the left side. Next slide, please. The next cross section features a proposed one line 910 millimeter diameter RCPC with head wall at both sides. Next slide, please. Here's the geotag photos shows the beginning of the project and end of the project, offering insights into the project's location. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Jeremy Soriano, for a brief examination of this project with contract ID number 24BI0073. So, from the second, does anyone from our YouTube live viewers especially our prospective bidders, have questions or clarification regarding this first project? None? So, fellow back members, let's start from provisional member, uh, Architect Ivy Salazar. Do you have any amendment for this first project?
I have no amendment, sir.
Noted. Engineer Bayani F. Molina, provisional member from the construction section. Do you have any amendment?
No amendment, Mr. Chair.
Noted. Our provisional member from the planning and design section, Engineer Jermin Benavista.
Mr. Chair, query ko lang dun sa regarding dun sa aggregates niya. Di ba meron dun yung parang dun yung malapit dun sa parang ifugaw na section dun? Sa dulo niya, hindi okay din yung aggregates doon. Sa Solano. O yung parian niya. Dun sa yun, sa may Baretbet ang niya, ang malapit niya. No amendment, Mr. Chair.
Okay, noted, Engineer Benavista. Since majority of the back members have no amendment for this particular project with contract ID number 24BI0073, we'll adopt the basic contract data as advertised. Take note, Engineer Augusto.
Noted, Mr. Chair.
Okay, let's continue for the second project with contract ID number 24BI0074. I request to discuss to us the details of this project. The preparer, Engineer Charles Nilbray Agasid. Engineer Agasid, take it away.
Good morning. I am Junior Charles Agasid from Planning and Design section, and today I will be briefly discussing the details of concreting of Dullao Farm to Market Road with a approved budget contract for 14,925,000 located at Barangay Dullao, Bambang, Nueva Vizcaya, with the project description of concreting of 6.1 with Barangay Road and source of fund of FY 2024 DAFMR. Next slide. Next slide, please. So here we see the distance from quarry site and the project site, which the quarry site will be Santa Cruz, section. We have two sections. Rear section with the survey length of 498 meters, and the second section, which is 435, which gives us about 933 meters of surveyed length. Here we have the layout plan and the vicinity map of the project. Next slide. Here are the typical sections of the project. We have the typical section for a normal crown PCCP with a thickness of 0.2 meters and width of 3.05 meters, which includes in this section slope protections with wheel guard. Here is the typical roadway section for super elevated sections. Next one. And the geotag pictures of the beginning of the project. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Charles Jared Nibre Agasid, for the brief description of this particular project. Again, from the secretary, may I know if does anyone from our YouTube live viewers, especially our prospective bidders, have questions or clarification regarding for the second project with contract ID number 24BI0074? None? Or we have one observer here. Do you have any question or clarification in the name of? Miss Rats, Construction Services. Sir?
No question, sir. But actually, I'm just more interested on the first at Barangay Pinya project. That would be the focus of my attendance on this part, sir. And beyond that is, I think everything is clear from your explanation, sir.
Okay, thank you. From Miss Rats, Construction Services. Okay, no question. Wala. So, for fellow back members, let's start from Architect IB Salazar. Do you have any amendment for this second project?
I have no question or amendments, Your Honor.
Noted. From Engineer Bayani F. Molina, provisional member from the construction section.
No amendment, Mr. Chair.
Noted. Or provisional member from the planning and design section, Engineer Jermin Benavista.
Mr. Chair, observation lang dun sa ano sa patingin yung typical ano section niya. Ito yung sa typical section kasi nakalagay dito na NGL niya. Siguro rice field siguro yan, no? Kaya lang kung rice field naman yan, bakit parang karamihan ng rice field, di ba pantay siya? Siguro ayusin lang yung cross section mo o yung typical mo din na parang rice field siya. Kasi ino-note mo doon na hindi lang NGL o rice field naman. Kasi pag rice field, pantay naman talaga siya, di ba? Kaya sasabihin ko sana na kung di na i-flash yung ano kanina, yung parang geotag mo, baka mas mura pa na tastasin mo na lang yung NGL na kaysa mag-protection ka pa. So, kung rice field yun, ay ayusin na lang na ipantay na lang ganun mga section mo, no? That's all, Mr. Chair, and I have no amendment.
Okay, noted. Kindly for the preparer, kindly check the national grade line of this particular project. Okay, since majority of the back members have no amendment for this particular project, we'll adapt the basic contract data as advertised. Take note, Engineer Brian Nilagusto, our Head Secretariat.
Noted, Mr. Chair.
But let's continue for the last civil works project for today with contract ID number 24BI0075. Again, may I request Engineer Jeremy Soriano for this particular project explain in details this particular project, the scope and work and project description.
Thank you, sir. Good morning again, everyone. I'm here to present in behalf of the designer, Engineer Maria Cristina L. Rhodes, the concreting of Magsaysay Hills, San Antonio North, FMR Barangay Magsaysay Hills, located at Bambang, Nueva Vizcaya, with the contract ID number 24BI0075. Approved budget for the contract 14,925,000 pesos. Project description, concreting of 6.10 with Barangay Road with a duration of 150 calendar days. Cost of bid documents, 25,000 pesos. Source of fund, FY 2024 DAFMR. Next slide, please. The slide shows the location of the project alongside the quarry source, which is in the Magat River, Makate section, and the material source at Bambang, both approximately 5.8 kilometers and 2.8 kilometers away, respectively, from the project site. Next slide, please. The map shows the layout plan of the project with two sections showing the geotag, the beginning of project at section 1 and end of project at section 1. Next slide, please. Geotag photos illustrates the start of section 2 and end of project at section 2. Next slide, please. View cross-sections are prepared to show the first cross-section features a 3.05 meter wide by 200 millimeter thick PCCP carriageway with 0.60 meter shoulders and curb and gutter on both sides. Next slide, please. Second cross-section features a 6.10 meter width by 200 millimeter thick PCCP carriageway with 0.6 meter shoulders, curb and gutter on the left side, and rubble concrete slope protection on the right side. Next slide, please. And lastly, the cross-section features a 6.10 meter width by 200 millimeter thick PCCP carriageway with 0.6 shoulders, curb and catch basin on the left side, and rubble concrete slope protection with grouted riprap apron on the right side. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Soriano, for the explanation and for this particular project for the benefit of our prospective bidders for the contract with contract ID number 24BI0075. Again, from the Secretariat, does anyone have any questions or clarification from our YouTube live viewers, especially our prospective bidders for the third project 24B with the contract ID number 24BI0075? None. So, fellow back members, do you have any amendment for this particular project? Let's start from Architect IB Salazar, provisional member for all types of procurement.
I have no amendment, sir.
Noted. Engineer Bayani F. Molina, provisional member from the construction section.
No amendment, Mr. Chair.
Noted. Our provisional member from the planning design section, Engineer Jermin Buenavista.
Mr. Chair, no amendment.
Noted. Since majority of the back members have no amendment for this particular project with contract ID number 24BI0075, please take note, Secretariat, that will adopt the basic contract data as advertised.
Noted, Mr. Chair.
Okay, that's ends for the first agenda for today. We'll proceed for the second agenda, the requirements of bidding documents. I request our Head Secretariat, Engineer Brian Neil Augusto, for this second agenda. Engineer Augusto, take it away.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the second agenda for the requirements of the bidding documents for the three civil works projects for contract ID number 24BI0073, concreting of Barangay Pinya for FMR, Barangay Pinya, Diadi, Nueva Vizcaya, for ITB close 14.2 A4B. The minimum work experience requirements for the key personnel are the following. For the key personnel, we have the project engineer, project manager, materials engineer, and foreman and safety officer. Minimum years of similar experience, same position is 3 years. Minimum years of total work experience, same position is 3 years. For ITB clause number 14.2 A4, the minimum major equipment requirements are the following. For the description, we have DPE loader, capacity 1.5 cubic meters, required units is 1. Dump truck, capacity 12 cubic yards, required units is 2. Water truck, capacity is 16 liters, required units is 1. Cargo service truck, capacity 9 to 10 metric tons, required units is 1. Low bed, backhoe wheel mounted, required units is 1. Backhoe, capacity is 0.8 cubic meter to 1.04 cubic yards, required units is 1. Plate compactor, motorized road grader, vibratory roller, required units is 1. Bulldozer DX175 required unit is 1. 1 bagger mixer required unit is 1. Concrete vibrator required unit is 2. Bar cutter 25 mm required unit is 1. Chainsaw required unit is 1. Transit mixer required unit is 4. Concrete batch plant, concrete screeder, concrete saw required unit is 1. Backhoe with breaker 0.80 cubic meter and 1.04 cubic yards required unit is 1. Bar bender required unit is 1 and boom truck required unit is 1. For the laboratory equipment, please refer to DO number 11 series of 2017 for the minimum materials testing equipment and DO number 127 series of 2018 district application of RA 9184, the conduct of post-qualification of bidders with delayed ongoing contracts with the DPWH. For the bid data sheet, requirement of bidding documents for contract ID number are applicable for 24BI number 0074 and 24BI 0075 for project of concreting of Dullao FMR and concreting of Magsaysay Hills San Antonio North FMR. For ITB clause 14.2 A4B, the minimum work experience requirements for the key personnel are the following. For the key personnel, we have the project manager, project engineer, materials engineer, foreman, and safety officer. Required minimum years of experience, same position is 3 years. Minimum years of total work experience, same position is 3 years. For ITB clause 14.2 A4, for the minimum major equipment requirements are the following. For the payloader with the capacity of 1.5 cubic meters, required unit is 1. Dump truck, capacity of 12 cubic yards, required unit is 2. Water truck, capacity of 16,000 liters, required unit is 1. Backhoe wheel mounted, required unit is 1. Backhoe with breaker, motorized road grader, vibratory roller, required unit is 1. Bulldozer DX175, required unit is 1. Concrete vibrator, required unit is 2. Bar cutter, 25 mm, required unit is 1. Transit mixer, required unit is 4. Concrete batch plant, concrete screeder, concrete saw, required unit is 1. Backhoe with breaker, low bed and cargo service truck, required unit is 1. For the laboratory equipment, please refer to DO number 11, series of 2017, for the minimum materials testing equipment and DO number 127, series of 2018, strict application of Republic Act 9184, the conduct of post-qualification of bidders with delayed ongoing contracts within the DPWH. That's all, sir, for the requirements of the bidding documents for the 3 civil works projects. Thank you.
Again, thank you, Engineer Brian Neil Augusto, for the second agenda, which is the requirements of bidding documents. Let's continue for the third agenda for today. Documents to be submitted by the bidder, including technical and financial proposal. Again, to the Secretariat, Engineer Brian Neil Augusto.
Thank you again, Mr. Chair. For the agenda number 3, documents to be submitted by the bidder, including technical and financial proposals, will be played through audio recording and presentation, sir. Thank you.
Secretariat, kindly play the audio presentation for the third agenda.
Technical and financial components. Number 1. Technical component envelope. Class A documents. For legal documents, letter A, valid PhilJobs registration certificate, platinum membership, all pages. Or letter B, registration certificate from Securities Exchange Commission, Department of Trade and Industry for sole proprietorship, or Cooperative Development Authority for cooperatives or its equivalent document. And letter C, mayor's business permit issued by the city or municipality where the principal place of business of the prospective bidder is located, or the equivalent document for exclusive economic zones or areas. And letter D, tax clearance per EO number 398, series of 2005, as finally reviewed and approved by the Bureau of Internal Revenue. For technical documents, letter E, statement of the prospective bidder of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. And letter F, a statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract or SLCC, similar to the contract to be bid, except under conditions provided under the rules. And letter G, Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board or PCAB license, or special PCAB license in case of joint ventures, and registration for the type and cost of the contract to be bid. And letter F, original copy of bid security in the form of surety bond. Submit also the certification issued by the Insurance Commission, or original copy of notarized bid securing declaration. And letter I, project requirements, which shall include the following. First, organizational chart for the contract to be bid. Second, list of contractors' key personnel, for example, project manager, project engineers, materials engineers, safety officer, and foreman, to be assigned to the contract to bid with their complete qualification and experience data. Third, list of contractors' major equipment units which are owned, leased, and or under purchase agreements, supported by proof of ownership or certification of availability of equipment from the equipment lessor, vendor, or the duration of the project as the case may be. And last, list of contractors' minimum material testing equipment which are owned as per Department Order Number 11, Series of 2017. For letter J, original duly signed omnibus sworn statement o OSS, and if applicable, original notarized secretary's certificate in case of corporation, partnership, or cooperatives, or original special power of attorney of all members of joint venture, giving full power and authority to its officer to sign the OSS and to do acts to represent the bidder. For financial documents, letter K, the prospective bidder's audited financial statements showing, among others, the prospective bidder's total and current assets and liabilities is stamp received by the BIR or its duly accredited and authorized institutions for the preceding calendar year, which should not be earlier than 2 years from the date of bid submission. And letter L, the prospective bidder's computation of net financial contracting capacity or NFCC, Class B documents. Letter M, if applicable, duly signed joint venture agreement or JVA in accordance with the Republic Act number 4566 and its IRR in case the joint venture is already in existence, or duly notarized statement from all the potential joint venture partners stating that they will enter into and abide by the provisions of the JVA in the instance that the bid is successful. Number 2, financial component envelope. Letter N, original of duly signed and accomplished financial bid form and other documentary requirements under Republic Act number 9184. Letter O, original of duly signed bid prices in the bill of quantities. And letter P, duly accomplished detailed estimate form, including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rental used in coming up with the bid. And letter Q, cash flow by quarter.
That's all, sir, for the documents to be submitted by the bidder, including technical and financial proposals for the said project. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Engineer Brian Aruso, for the third agenda. Let's proceed for the fourth agenda. Criteria and procedure for the preliminary examination of the bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification and award. I request Architect IB Salazar or a provisional member for all types of procurement for this one.
For the fourth agenda, may we listen to the pre-recorded audio presentation? Thank you.
Okay, Secretariat, kindly play the pre-recorded presentation for the fourth agenda.
Pre-bid conference, detailed evaluation of bids. For the procurement of goods and infrastructure projects, the BAC shall evaluate the financial component of the bids to determine the lowest calculated bid using the following steps. The BAC shall immediately conduct a detailed evaluation of all bids using non-discretionary criteria in considering the following: completeness of the bid. Unless the instructions to bidders specifically allow partial bids, bids not addressing or providing all of the required items in the bidding documents, including, where applicable, bill of quantities, shall be considered non-responsive and thus automatically disqualified. In this regard, where a required item is provided but no price is indicated, the same shall be considered as non-responsive. But specifying a zero or a dash for the said item would mean that it is being offered for free to the government, except those required by law or regulations to be provided for. Arithmetical corrections. Consider computational errors and omissions to enable proper comparison of all eligible bids. It may also consider bid modifications expressly allowed in the bidding documents. Any adjustment shall be calculated in monetary terms to determine the calculated prices. The BAC shall evaluate all bids on an equal footing to ensure fair and competitive bid comparison. For this purpose, all bidders shall be required to include the cost of all taxes, such as, but not limited to, value-added tax, income tax, local taxes, and other fiscal levies and duties, which shall be itemized in the bid form and reflected in the detailed estimates. Such bids, including said taxes, shall be basis for bid evaluation and comparison. In case of discrepancies between bid prices in figures and in words, the latter shall prevail. Between total price per item and unit price for the item as extended or multiplied by the quantity of that item, the latter shall prevail. Between stated total price and the actual sum of prices of component items, the latter shall prevail. Between unit cost in the detailed estimate and unit cost in the bill of quantities, the latter shall prevail. Post-qualification. Objective and process of post-qualification. The lowest calculated bid shall undergo post-qualification in order to determine whether the bidder concerned complies with and is responsive to all the requirements and conditions as specified in the bidding documents. Within 5 calendar days from receipt by the bidder of the notice from the BAC that the bidder has the lowest calculated bid, the bidder shall submit to the BAC its latest income and business tax returns and other appropriate licenses and permits required by law and stated in the bidding documents. Failure to submit any of the post-qualification requirements on time or a finding against the veracity thereof shall disqualify the bidder for award, provided that in the event that a finding against the veracity of any of the documents submitted is made, it shall cause the forfeiture of the bid security in accordance with Section 69 of this IRR. The post-qualification shall verify, validate, and ascertain all statements made and documents submitted by the bidder with the lowest calculated bid using non-discretionary criteria as stated in the bidding documents. These criteria shall consider, but shall not be limited to the following. Legal requirements. To verify, validate, and ascertain licenses, certificates, permits, and agreements submitted by the bidder, and the fact that it is not included in any blacklist as provided in Section 25.3 of this IRR. For this purpose, the GPPB shall maintain a consolidated file of all blacklisted suppliers, contractors, and consultants. Technical requirements. To determine compliance of the infrastructure projects offered with the requirements specified in the bidding documents, including, where applicable, verification and validation of the bidder's stated competence and experience, and competence and experience of the bidder's key personnel to be assigned to the project for the procurement of infrastructure projects. Verification of availability, and commitment and/or inspection and testing for the required capacities and operating conditions of equipment unit to be owned, leased, under, purchased by the bidder for use in the contract. Negative slippage of at least 15% in any one project or a negative slippage of at least 10% in each of two or more contracts. Failure of the contractor to commence repair works on ongoing contracts within 7 calendar days and to complete them within 30 calendar days after receipt of the procuring entity's notice of defects and deficiencies. Failure of the contractor to commence repair works on contracts with pending certificates of acceptance within 30 calendar days and complete them within 90 days after receipt of the procuring entity's notice of defects and failures, or substandard quality of work as per contract plans and specifications, or unsatisfactory performance of the contractor's obligations as per contract terms and conditions at the time of inspection. If the BAC verifies any of these deficiencies to be due to the contractor's fault or negligence, the agency shall disqualify the contractor from the award for the procurement of infrastructure projects.
That's all, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for the fourth agenda. So let's continue for the fifth agenda. Questions or comments from bidders and replies of BAC and other representatives of procuring entity. So from the secretariat, does anyone from our YouTube live viewers, especially our prospective bidders, have question or clarification for the agenda tackled? None. So for the summary of proceeding, including bid bulletins addenda to be issued, none. So we'll proceed for the last agenda, the other matters. The Engineer Brian Nilogusto from the Secretariat, that do you have any announcement or reminders to make, Engineer Gusto? March 19. Okay. Oh, yeah.
For the announcement reminders is on opening of bids that we postponed for March 19, 2024 for the three civil works projects with contract ID number 24BI0070, Convergence and Special Support Program, Basic Infrastructure Program, BIP, Will-to-Purpose Building Facilities to Support Social Services, Construction of Multipurpose Building, Barangay Almaguer South, Bambang, Nueva Vizcaya. The second project is 24BI0071, Convergence of Special Support Program, Basic Infrastructure Program, BIP, Multipurpose Buildings Facilities to Support Social Services, Completion of Multipurpose Building, Barangay Salinas National High School, Barangay Salinas, Bambang, Nueva Vizcaya. And the third project, sir, is 24BI0072, Convergence and Special Support Program, Basic Infrastructure Program, BIP, Multipurpose Buildings Facilities to support social services, construction of multipurpose building, Barangay Santa Rosa, Bayambong, Nueva Vizcaya. That's all, sir, for the scheduled opening of bids for March 19, 2024. Thank you.
Again, thank you, Engineer Brian L. Gusto. Maybe, hopefully, our network will be restored for that day, March 19, 2024, so that we can open the three civil works project previously scheduled last March 12, 2024. And the problem again for today, March 14, 2024, we have a problem from our network security. So we will reschedule the opening of bids on March 19, 2024. So that ends for the agenda for today. The private conference dated March 14, 2024. So do you have any other concern, fellow back members? None? Can I hear a motion to adjourn?
Since we are finished with the pre-bid of the three, ano yun? Three civil works and announcements have been made and there's no further agenda. I move to close this particular procurement activity. Thank you.
Second the motion.
Since it has been moved and seconded that is procurement activity, which is the private conference, I now, as back chair, I now declare this procurement activity to be officially closed. Good morning to it again. Good morning to everyone. Have a fruitful days again ahead of us. Thank you.